Hi everyone, this is Alexander from AI Framework, and in this video I would like to demonstrate how to evaluate Duo Chat on the question answer tasks, data sets related to documentation. So let me share my screen uh, to see the latest changes I made in the ELI 5 project. To do that, yeah, right. So this is the MR. This is the working MR. It's under review right now, but you can also check out the branch and just play with that one. So first of all, I would like to say that the main motivation was to improve the evaluation experience that we have with DuoChat for documentation. So currently, to my understanding, here is the dataset that we use, and it's quite small because it contains only 43 examples, which is not enough to explore how DuoChat performs at scale. And also, it seems that the context that we have here, it's disconnected from the changes that we make in the documentation. So I'm trying to say that we need to make sure that DuoChat is able to generate correct answers for the change documentation. So for instance, we add a new documentation section, a new file, or we delete some information. So we need to make sure that DuoChat responds correctly with the up-to-date information. So that's why we probably need to reiterate the data set that we have here. So we need another iteration. And this is also the goal of my MR in the ELI 5 project. So yeah, if you check it here, so you will see that it contains two parts. The first is dataset collection, and another part is evaluation itself. So let's just go briefly through the dataset section. So so the main point is that we use Anthropic Claude model and our documentation, like our real documentation. To generate questions, answers, and retrieve relevant context. How it works? Let's go step by step. First of all, we need to clone the GitLab repo. And in the GitLab repo, we have the doc folder that contains all our markdown files with the up-to-date documentation. So we read this doc folder, every markdown file there. And we also need to select the files that we are interested in, some appropriate files. So that's why we apply some filters there. So for instance, we don't need empty files. And we also need files that have at least three sections with header 2. So usually headers, they identify like that in the markdown file, I mean the second header. And we also need to make sure that every section with header 2 has at least 500 characters. So of course we can have some other heuristics to identify better files. So my main goal was to make sure that every file that we use to generate questions is full and it contains enough information to generate good question answer pairs. We can also apply any other approach. So for instance, we can generate questions and answers for the group of files. Let's say we can use hyperlinks to identify that one file is related to another one or any other one. So I think that was used as the first assumption as the start. Let's collaborate together and apply some other strategies if we think that we need them right now. So the next step is to use Anthropic Claude model for the markdown file that we filtered before to generate question, answer, and to retrieve relevant context that was used to generate the question and answer itself. Then we write these outputs to the JSON lines file. You can find the dataset that is generated already in Langsmith. It's called like that. DuoChat context QA docs.1. And let's go to examples and just click here to check the schema of the line of the row. So you will see that it contains context, generated question, and the target file that was used to generate context and question. And also we have a possible answer that can be used in evaluation itself. Yeah, so ELI5 project provides some comments to generate the data set. Let's just check them together. If we go to the ELI5 project, so yeah, just clone already. The first thing that we need to do usually is just we need to install all dependencies. And for example, using MEES or ASDF, it's up to you. We also need to install some additional Python dependencies because this is more introduce them. So let's just call poetry install. So all dependencies are installed already locally for me. And we can also please recall that ELI5 project provides the CLI interface that can be used to communicate with Langsmith and also with the project itself. So let's just see the commands that we support. We can call help for the ELI5 for the CLI interface. Yeah, so you will see the group of commands that we have right now, and we're interested in the one called Duo Chat. So you can see here that we have two new groups called collect and evaluate. So to work with data sets, we're interested right now in collect. So let's just check the comments that we have there. Yep. So here we are. That's the one that we're interested in. It's called context QA docs. Let's check the parameters that we need to submit, the required parameters, right? So we just need to submit the path to the directory that contains markdown documentation files. So yeah, that's what I said before. We need first to clone the GitLab repo and then point our command to the doc folder there. In my case, the GitLab repo is already cloned. So let's just find it here. It's just there. It's called GitLab, right? And then we need the doc folder there. So usually it takes approximately up to 30 minutes because we have some retry logic, we have rate limiting. Finally, you will get the file with the generated examples. I already show them in the Langsmith interface. We can also, let's say, stop right the execution. Let's say right now. I believe we already have some examples generated. Right, so we have the file here. Okay, we have three examples already, so exactly the same structure as on Locksmith, the question, context, and target file, possible answer. So once we obtain the data set, for instance, this one we just generated contains three examples, but we also have the one that we have on Langsmith. So we store this data set in datasets to a chat. So here's the one that we have on Langsmith, exactly the same one. So we can also upload this data set to Langsmith. ELI5 provides a special command for that. It's called datasets. And let's just ask for some kind of help. So we'll see that it has the create comment. Let's again ask for help. Yep, so we just need to provide the dataset name and also some the path, the path to the dataset data. So here's the dataset itself. So we can try. So right, so it's called do a chat, right? QA, do a chat contacts QA docs one, and then we just need to specify the path, right? So in our case, this data set already exists, as I said before. So that's why we can also add the upsert flag if we want to add some additional examples. But yeah, please be careful because this is the data set that we have right now, and maybe better to create another one or to create splits. So we can think about that in any follow-up issues about a better way how to organize our data sets. So that's probably the main everything for the first part about how to collect an appropriate data set for evaluation. And now, so the next step, right? So let's just share my MR again. And yes, I said before, the second step is just to run evaluation. So we use LLM judgment with Anthropic Claude model right now. But yes, 10 pointed before, we can also use any other models, which is great. And the main thing is, just to recall, is to compare context, question against answer. And the LLM assigns a score from 1 to 4. And we can use these scores just to identify how well Duo Chat answers questions about documentation, right? Yeah, and ELI5 provides a specific command to do that. So it's called evaluate docs. We can also run some kind of help. So let's do that first. Let's go back to my ID. Yep, here we are. And let's just call this command called evaluate docs help with help, right? Yeah, and so we don't have any required parameters. We just need, we have only one optional one called dataset. So this is the name of the dataset to use for evaluation. But by default, this is the Duo Chat context key docs.1, which that we already have in Langsmith. So we can just omit this flag for now, right now. Right, so let's just start the process. Yeah, and we have the link that we can click and we will get the dashboard with the running experiments. Approximately, maybe it can take up to 50 minutes, something around that, because we need to query Duo Chat to collect actual responses. Then we need to run LLM judgment. Let's just click this link. And here's the running experiment. So that's why sometimes we have null. Some answers we already obtain, but we can go back to the main dataset page where we have all experiments, and I already have one that is for the full dataset for all 305 examples with the average score 3.1. So recall we have from 1 to 4, which is quite good, but of course we have some room for improvements. Let's click this experiment, which is completed already. And if you check this column, right, so you will find that we have actual answers generated by Duo Chat, and we have the score that was assigned by the LLM. We can, for example, go through this column manually. We can also apply some filters. For instance, we can say that we need all scores, let's say all scores with the high, sorry, all examples with the highest score, right? So, okay, so here we are, we have all of them. Or let's say that if we would like to explore any bad examples, I mean, bad answers according to the LLM judgment approach. So let's say that we need all examples with the lowest score, and we can click, let's find something more interesting, not the one that where we didn't answer. So for instance, this one. And let's just click this, let's just click the name of this evaluator, and we can open it in the new tab with comments and just click, right? Okay, so we have some metadata about running evaluator against this example. So here's the inputs, some inputs, right? Context, question, target file that was used to generate the question. Here's the actual answer. Here's the actual answer. And if we scroll down, we'll see that we have the metadata about running the evaluator itself, right? So here's the name of the evaluator, right? It's context, accuracy, docs, some kind of thoughts, so reasoning. So we can check this field if we would like to know why the LM assign a particular score and the score itself, right? So that's how we can manually trace why we have some good answers or worse answers. So something like that. But yes, as I said before, we can also apply any other evaluators. Let's say if we would like to get some additional details, so we just need to write custom evaluators. So mainly that's all right. And yeah, feel free, please, to to leave your comments in this MR, leave your suggestions. Would be great to collaborate together. Thanks a lot. Bye.